Salam Keluarga Malaysia. Hello and good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brendan Lepal and you're watching Updates at Noon. Let's take a look at the headlines. Mostly to focus on flood-resistant putty seeds for better yield. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Semasa has asked the Science, Technology and Innovation Ministry mostly to focus on producing two varieties of putty seeds which can give high yields with quality. He said these two putty varieties involve seeds which can withstand floodwaters and do not consume a big amount of water.
Kita sebagai sebuah negara yang tak tentu bila berlaku banjir ketika ini. Kadang-kadang waktu padi sedang meranum, tiba-tiba ditenggelami air dan akhirnya padi musnah. Ataupun anak-anak padi yang sudah membesar ditenggelami air.
He said countries like the Philippines and India had produced putty seeds which could withstand flooding. The Prime Minister was speaking at a ceremony for handing over the IS-21 putty seed variety to the community at Felkra Sri Makota in Andau yesterday. The National Agro-Commodity Policy 2021 to 2030, DAKN 2030, which outlines the direction for 8 key commodities in the country, namely oil palm, rubber, timber, cocoa, pepper, kanaf, biomass and biofuel was launched yesterday. Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister Dato' Zuraida Kamarudin said the policy was developed to ensure the agro-commodity sector would be spurred further and contribute continuously to the country's gross domestic product, GDP, and export revenue. She added, DAKN 2030 is a continuation of the National Commodity Policy 2011 to 2020 and was formulated based on the national agenda such as the Shared Prosperity Vision 2030, Sustainable Development Goals, 12th Malaysia Plan, and 3rd National Physical Plan. Dato' Zuraida said the policy is based on 5 core thrusts: sustainability, productivity, value generation, market development, and inclusivity.
Merancang kerja-kerja yang lebih seperti saya sebutlah berwawasan jauh yang akan dapat meningkatkan produktiviti, akan dapat meningkatkan market expansion, pemasaran yang lebih luas ke luar negara dan juga boleh merancangkan teknologi yang kita hendak angkat dan juga kelestarian dalam industri sawit ini dan bagaimana kita hendak memperkemaskan pengurusan kita kepada peniaga-peniaga ataupun pekebun-pekebun kecil dalam sektor agri-komoditi.
She also said the AKN 2030 is expected to lower the income gap and poverty rate, especially in the rural areas. All tourism and cultural industry players in the country need to make initial preparations to receive tourists from abroad. Tourism, Arts and Culture, MOTAC Minister Datuk Seri Nancy Shukri said the parties involved should also continue to intensify promotional activities and be more creative in marketing Malaysian tourism products and locations to the global market. She added MOTAC remains optimistic that the industry will rise again and be able to make Malaysia popular again among international tourists. Datuk Seri Nancy Shukri said the announcement was great news for tourism industry players as it provided an opportunity for industry players to revive the international tourism sector after 2 years of being hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. She also said the ministry will always provide cooperation and support to all efforts to be implemented by all government agencies involved to succeed in the country's borders reopening. The number of unemployed persons in the country in January has declined to 680,400, bringing the unemployment rate to stand at 4.2%. According to Chief Statistician Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin, the number was lowered by 1.1% from 687,600 recorded in December last year. Elaborating on the matter, he said the labour force situation continued to improve in January 2022, led by the continuous rise in employment, while unemployed persons trended down. He added the situation reflects the encouraging economic activities observed in January 2022, since all business allowed to operate at full capacity with longer business hours. By economic sector, the number of employed persons in services persistently recorded a month-on-month increase, particularly in food and beverages services, wholesale and retail trade, and information and communication activities. A similar trend was observed in the manufacturing and construction sectors, with the number of employment remain on the rise. However, the employment in agriculture and mining and quarrying sectors was on a declining trend for the past 18 months. A total of 1,078,539 or 30.4% of children in Malaysia have received the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine under the National COVID-19 Immunisation Programme for Children, PIC Kids, as of yesterday. Based on the COVID Now website, 64.4% of the adult population in the country have received the COVID-19 booster dose, and 22.9 million others have completed their vaccination. As for adolescents aged 12 to 17, over 2.8 million individuals or 91.1% of the group have completed their vaccination, while almost 3 million others had received at least one dose of the vaccine. Yesterday, a total of 62,983 doses of vaccine were administered, with 18,781 as first doses, 1,817 as second doses, and 42,385 as booster doses, bringing the cumulative total vaccine doses dispensed under the National COVID-19 Immunisation Drive to 67,935,466. Meanwhile, according to the Health Ministry's GitHub portal, 113 deaths due to COVID-19 were recorded yesterday, with Selangor recording the highest number of fatalities at 22 cases, followed by Sabah 18, Johor 14, Kedah 12, Penang 10, and Pahang 9. Perak recorded 7 cases of death, Negeri Sembilan 6, Terengganu 4, Kelantan 3, while Melaka, Perlis, Sarawak, Kuala Lumpur each reported 2 cases. Feeling vengeful for not getting help to buy drug equipment, a vegetable trolley pusher was arrested on suspicion of causing a fire to 48 motorcycles and 4 cars at the Intan Baiduri People's Housing Project (PBR) in Jinjang, Kuala Lumpur last Friday. Central District Police Chief ACP Beng Lai said the 31-year-old local man set fire to a victim's motorcycle cushion, which spread to the entire parking area of the residential area. Now, the man was believed to have committed the act under the influence of alcohol.
Suspek utama ini mempunyai 14 rekod jenayah, iaitu 9 rekod jenayah, iaitu daripada kes samun, kes bergaduh dan juga kes bunuh. Manakala 5 kes lagi kes dadah. Motif pembakaran adalah disebabkan salah faham di antara suspek utama dengan seorang mangsa motosikal yang terbakar.
He added that the suspect admitted committing the crime but did not expect the fire to spread to the other vehicles. The case was being investigated under Section 435 of the Penal Code for mischief by causing a fire, and the man is expected to be charged in court today. Tigers rock the Crocs with goals galore. Stay with us. Now, the plan to reopen the country safely in stages will be a turning point for all industries, especially sports, which has been affected since the COVID-19 pandemic hit in March 2020. Malaysian Football League MFL Chief Executive Officer Stuart Ramalingam believes they can make more strides now with the transition to normal operations, thus generating more benefits for the economy. Stewart also said the standard operating procedure (SOP) for spectator entry into stadiums would remain for now, adding that it would be amended with further update from the Ministry of Youth and Sports (KBS).
For now, MFL is still in communication with KBS pertaining to the new SOPs that will be introduced on the 1st of April. So I advise all teams, all fans to still stick to the existing SOPs of food and drink in stadium, 50% capacity, 20,000 or whichever lesser.
He added that MFL, clubs and supporters have always supported the government's decision, and MFL is also one of the organizations working hard for the economy and at the same time act to curb the pandemic from spreading throughout the M-League. Foreign imports Bergson da Silva and Fernando Martin Forestieri scored a brace each to inspire reigning Super League champions Johor Darul Ta'zim JDT to a resounding 6-0 thrashing of newly promoted Sarawak United at the Sultan Ibrahim Stadium in Iskandar Putri last night. JDT got off to a sizzling start when Argentine Forestieri, after receiving a pass from midfielder Mohammad Nazmi Faiz Mansour, coolly slotted home with a stiff grounder in the 15th minute. Bergson then made it 2-0 for Benjamin Mora's Southern Tigers with a powerful volley after receiving a pass from winger Arif Aiman Mohammad Hanapi in the 39th minute. When Sarawak defender Raja Imran Shah Raja Amin was sent off for fouling Muhammad Safawi Rashid in the 60th minute, the floodgates opened up, with Bergson notching his second and JDT's third of the night 2 minutes later. The Southern Tigers, sensing blood, upped the ante and scored 3 more goals through defender Carly de Murga in the 71st minute, Mohammad Safawi in the 80th minute, and Forestieri in the 84th minute to sink the Crocs and make it 2 wins out of 2 to sit atop the standings with 6 points. Meanwhile, at the Darul Aman Stadium in Al Star, 2021 Super League runners-up Kedah Darul Aman FC bounced back from being a goal down to edge reigning Malaysia Cup champions Kuala Lumpur KL City FC 3-2 on home ground. The City boys stunned the home fans when they opened the scoring in the 28th minute through midfielder Zafri Yahya, but the visitors' joy was short-lived as Kedah equalised through striker Muhammad Shafiq Ahmad just 4 minutes later. Substitute Muhammad Fayyad Muhammad Zulkifli Amin then beat the KL City offside trap to put coach Aidil Shahrin Sahat's team 2-1 ahead in the 67 minutes before import striker Dennis Bushening caught the visitors' defence, napping to net the third 2 minutes later. Although Kevin Brandon Xavier Kodemba managed to pull one back for KL City in the 87 minutes, it was simply a case of too little, too late. Teenager Aliyah Yung Hanifah battered the national record for the girls' jump event in Waterskiing at the Mumbai Masters Championships 2022 in Melbourne, Australia yesterday. The 18-year-old recorded a jump of 39.5 meters to come out tops and advanced to round 2 in the junior category. Her father, who is also a coach, Hanifah Yung Yin Fa, posted on his Facebook page that Aliyah chalked up a new Malaysian record and a new personal best with 39.5 meters, eclipsing her previous best of 38.9 meters achieved 3 years ago at La Trobe, Melbourne. American Elizabeth Hall and Christy Appleton of Queensland were second and third respectively. Aliyah, who is making her 10th appearance in the championships, also came in first in the tricks event with 5,030 points, but could only finish 4th in slalom. At the Mumbai Masters Championships 2020, Aliyah bagged a gold in the tricks event of the girls under 17 category, as well as silvers in jump and girls overall. That concludes today's edition of Updates at Noon. In our top story, mostly to focus on flood-resistant paddy seeds for better yield. Tune in to News at 10, coming up at 10 p.m. on Saluran Berita RTM on My Freeviews channel 123. You can also stream the news by surfing RTM Click. Till then, I'm Brendan Paul. Stay tuned to TV2. Salam Keluarga Malaysia and take care.